Yahweh Bama and wider public. My name's Karen Guri, also known as Karen Cummins Coggle, of the Yagara people of Meeanjin. I'm connected also to many other tribal groups around the up and down the east coast from my mother and my father's sides. I'm here to just expose more about the racist attitudes we have from wider society, and particularly now with Facebook. We, a number of us original sovereign peoples of the Original Sovereign Tribal Federation, which is a group that has been raising awareness and contending against oppressive governments here in this country for many years. What I want to point out is we organised an event against the legislations that were being poured out before the Queensland state elections on October 31st. So it was legislations targeting our youth, even though the Premier and the Shadow Minister, Shadow Premier, they was highlighting that it's not racially motivated, but it is. It looks like it, smells like it, and quacks like it. The children in the far north, which is Townsville in Kansas, is a densely populated areas for our original peoples. And the ministers were agreeing to put curfews on the children, which just gave the police more powers. And we've experienced a lot of times where the police have had more powers and they've abused these powers. And that's what the Black Lives Movement highlights. And deaths in custody marches all around the country that have been going on forever, even after a Royal Commission, which doesn't adhere to any of their recommendations about keeping our mob out of the watch house, which is the first recommendation. We've also had Royal Commissions into the children in care, institutional abuse. We've even had Royal Commissions into banks, and actually there's no accountability, no justice that are coming out of these Royal Commissions. They're actually bureaucratic, whitewashed incentives that have no teeth, no bite, nothing at all. So we've pulled the sovereign card, and that's what we do, is highlight the sovereignty of this nation, which shows that there is no sovereignty that the governments have based their company that poses as a government, haven't based it all on. And I don't know what is the point of the Governor General, and we've got governors all sitting over every state. So I just wanted to point out that now at recent, which is shown today, is that we organised a Save Our Children, Save Our Future event for October 30, which was on the Friday. It was a weekday. So we wanted to raise awareness about these legislations that were getting pushed over our people, and which would target disadvantaged youth. And that wouldn't just mean our original children's, that it would mean, all disadvantaged youth. And that could be white, African, Polynesian, even any one of the children's that aren't so privileged to be engaged in a lot of activities with youth programs, youth incentives, employment. These take functional families to be able to push your children through these sort of work incentives, programs, and get involved even in sports and rec, because, even just joining a football team, it's cost like about $300 per child to join a sporting team. So these are the sort of things that I just wanted to highlight. Was we started the Save Children, Save Our Future event on the Friday the 30th, and that, lo and behold, we actually did 3 actions that day. We served the National Native Title Body, which is Queensland South Native Title Services. The CEO's name is Kevin Smith, who we don't, that is totally culturally inappropriate person to be even dealing in matters with our lands and our spirituality and our governance structures, which is really our sovereignty. So he is a culturally inappropriate person that withholds a lot of our evidences and that. And this is all from what this government does. These are the statutory bodies. So in short, and we've got a place called DATSIP, which is Department of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Partnerships that the Labor government raised to be speaking for us without any democratic process, no nominations of who we want sitting in these positions. Got culturally inappropriate people again sitting in our services that have no real connection to their lands, their culture, their people, and their law systems. So these people are handpicked by government to sit in positions and give the okay to these legislations that are absolutely traumatizing, so psychologically, spiritually, physically, and to give police more powers when we're all over the world, people are calling out to stop police brutality. How could we think to give police more powers to attack our children, or, more or less control our children? And these powers override the powers of the parents and families, but they don't offer any actual supports for families. There's actually always no money. There's more money for defence forces and rather than education, training and employment opportunities for our youth, which I know we used to grow up on. There was a lot of opportunities and to even learn a trade. So these things are really obsolete to these governments. So they think putting curfews on children is a solution and pushing the race card for votes in a racist society. So what happened to us was we set this event up. We called it out on, you can see on my other videos that we called it out, save our children, save our future. We went and served QSNTS after we did that. We also came back and did opened a refugee rally to give understanding to the more wider public and standing up for people that are deprived of their liberties. And actually, it's a criminal direction that they've used for refugees that are in trauma and fleeing war-torn countries. So they've got 170 refugees sitting up in Meeanjin, a hotel, squashed in for about a good few years. And I think that is just horrific that in the 21st century we've got politicians agreeing to this stuff. So what we did was put this forward, and so myself, Patricia Conlon, Sonia Coggill and Kim Law, by Monday our whole Facebook accounts were wiped without a warning, without any notice, without any questions to us, or even, Facebook jail, as they say. These platforms were taken from us to give us a voice. And we've only always been about empowering our own people and raising awareness, like I'm doing right now, and that has happened. So we're going to be seeking further legal advice. I don't really hold my breath, not in this country, because first people have it's very hard to get a voice unless you're assimilated and privileged. And if you're a grassroots, Guri, Murray, Query, Noongar, all them, if you're any relative or even those who are allied with us, you're targeted for annihilation, and genocide is what we stand against as original sovereigns to these lands. And we use their own legislations against themselves, and we may do a protest or a rally or stand in at times, but we're non-violent, we're non-threatening. We are mothers and grandmothers standing against this system, and I can't see the reason why Facebook would discriminate against for mothers, original sovereign mothers, to do this. So this is what I'm putting out, and I was hoping to keep it shorter, but there was so much that I needed to squeeze in there. And as you can see, we've also got the anti-intervention where they removed the Racial Discrimination Act. That is still in effect in the Northern Territory. They are under curfews. It doesn't work. Your prison systems, the incarceration and all that does not work. You really need to sit down with Aboriginal sovereigns and discuss all these issues that are coming about. Government. So we are working with wider public in many areas, even in England and overseas with people, and we've got, our sovereign allodial title that's never been really challenged. There's no doubt we've never lost our sovereignty or our allodial title, and now we've got a movement coming from with joint ventures with Australia and New Zealand where they're calling themselves crowns. Their actual crown is us. and they claim sovereign crown. So, Yahweh, Bama, and all our allies, take care and stay strong. Power to the people.